So I do want to go further into depth about this match between Barcelona and Valencia. Barcelona were able to defeat Valencia 2-1 at their home, right? We played at their stadium, which is a very hard stadium to play in, right? The fans like to harass, shout out bad names, be very noisy. Every time one of the Barcelona players had the ball, they like to whistle. And every time Valencia had the ball, the fans were loud. They were cheering it, and you can feel the intensity. It was truly a very hard stadium to play in, and we still came out with a win with our B team. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Barcelona do not have their first team players. Like, yes, there are a couple, but overall, we have been trying to play with our B team. This is Barcelona B. Like, this is Barcelona Athletic. You bring back all of our main players, like Frankie, like Araujo, like Pedri, like Gavi, and so forth. The players that we do see today would see very little of the pitch. We have not even begun using Dani Olmo, another player that's supposed to be in our starting 11, right? We don't have the majority of our A game players, and that is another reason why I am so optimistic about this season, right? You guys always ask, Kevin, why do you think you are so optimistic? Like, why do you think you're so enthusiastic about this season? I don't get it. It is because, like, in the past 4 games, including those other couple of matches in the preseason against AC Milan, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Valencia, we have been going out with good performances with our B team. Can you imagine what Hansi Flick is going to be doing with this team with 2 more months of training and having our main starting 11? It's going to be wild. Like, bro, it's going to be very interesting because already we have already seen Real Madrid lose a couple of points in the league, tying against Mallorca. Everybody thought that Real Madrid were going to be able to dominate against Mallorca, right? Because they have Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Rodrigo, right? The precious Real Madrid, but they have tied against Mallorca 1-1, with Rodrigo being the only player scoring in that game. How ironic, right? Because everybody has been talking about Mbappe or Vinicius or Bellingham to be scoring, providing assists, but Rodrigo came out as the main man who did score. So it's very interesting, right? Who is going to be coming out on top in about 3 to 4 weeks from today? Is it going to be Barcelona's B team or this brand new Real Madrid side that does contain Kylian Mbappe? All I can say is this: Mbappe, welcome to La Liga, right? This is no longer the Farmers League. This is no longer the French League, no longer Ligue 1. You are now officially in La Liga, where you are required to have high technical ability to be able to go through deep blocks, because Mallorca did that to you guys, and they did it well. They defended their box so well. Real Madrid just couldn't score, and Mbappe came out confused. He's like, what happened? What happened to me scoring very easy and all these tap-ins? I was supposed to be scoring 2 goals per game. What happened here? Like, welcome to La Liga. This is what it is. Yes, it's very tough, and it's only going to get worse from here once you do face Athletic Club, Atletico Madrid, our team, FC Barcelona, Real Betis, Real Sociedad, and don't even get me started when you go to Espanyol. They are going to harass you, my friend. So moving on from that, I do have a couple of points that I do want to speak about. Point number 1, if there is one thing that Hansi Flick has been training for Barcelona to do, is for these players to run to the specific areas very well, meaning running to the box in a very coordinated way. And the only way those runs into the box can be effective is by finding good crosses and be able to win second place. That is basically Hansi Flick's game plan with Barcelona and how we're going to be attacking against every opponent in the league and in the Champions League. Now, what does that mean? It basically means that Hansi Flick is saying, look, every time we do have Balde or Lamine Yamal ready to cross the ball into the box, we need at least 4 players in the box. We need to push as many players in there as much as possible, because it will force for the defense of the opponent to react quickly. And when they react quickly, it often does lead to mistakes, creating gaps for Barcelona to exploit. So if Lamine Yamal or Balde take the time to find good crosses, like what we saw in the match against Valencia, the probability of scoring goals will skyrocket. If we win the second place, like for example, if the ball rebounds, if it hits the goalkeeper or a defender, or if there is a loose ball, that is where Barcelona can capitalize and take over the possession and shoot the ball and make it 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, etc. It increases their chances of scoring. This approach is very important because it's going to help Barcelona maintain pressure on the opponent, dictating the pace of the game, keeping the opponent on their back foot. And once again, to win the second place is often what separates a good team from a great one. And Barcelona looks so ready to capitalize off of every opportunity, and they're only going to get better from there. I think that already Lamine Yamal and Koundé are fine-tuning the right flank by finding crosses, finding multiple passing lanes, and as for the left flank, Balde by himself is already enough. It's the reason why Barcelona were able to find the first goal, is because of Alejandro Balde's great cross to Lamine Yamal, which ended up going to Lewandowski in the end for him to tap the ball inside and make it 1-1. Now, I do think that one player is missing on the left flank, which is a left winger. We need a very effective left winger to compound our chances on the left flank and make no area a weak point for Barcelona. I mean, like, already with the team that we do have, it's already enough, right? Because we have already created more big chances than Valencia, created more shots on target, more than double the touches in the penalty area compared to Valencia. We had 32 penalty touches. Valencia had like 14. So already Barcelona is good enough to find effectiveness, but we can get better. The moment we do sign, hopefully in the future, a left winger, or maybe the moment we introduce Dani Olmo onto the left wing position, Barcelona is going to be miles better. Moving on towards my second point. I think that Lewandowski is still very important. I mean, he did score 2 goals against Valencia. Like, what else do you want me to say? He scored 2 goals. He has more goals than anybody else right now in the league, as things currently do stand. I mean, Atletico Madrid are going to be playing in about 12 to 14 hours. Who knows if Julian Alvarez starts and gets some goals, but as of now, Lewandowski is the main goal scorer. He's still very important. Now, I want to speak on a couple of things. I understand why many of the Barcelona fan base find Lewandowski annoying. And to be honest, it does make me annoyed. It makes me very frustrated. And I'm going to be explaining what I'm talking about. In the style that Lewandowski does play, it does not leave us at ease. Like, yes, he continues to score goals, but we know that if we have a Suarez or a Benzema or a Ronaldo Nazario in our team to be playing as a 9, Barcelona would be even more dangerous. But we don't have that, right? And what I'm basically explaining here is Lewandowski is not a 1v1 killer. He is simply not that. And we need him to. We want to see that, because if you look at Lewandowski's numbers against Valencia, in terms of take-ons, it was 0. Successful take-ons, 0. Progressive carries with the ball, 0. Carries overall, he only had 16. To put that into context, players like Inigo Martinez had more with 56. Lamine Yamal came in second with 47. Koundé came in third with 46. Casado with 42. Cubarsi with 36. Balde with 34. Bernal with 34. Rafinha with 29. And even Ter Stegen had more ball carries than Lewandowski with a total of 28. Again, Lewandowski only had 16, so he does not carry the ball forward. He is not the one that could take on opponents successfully. As you can see by these numbers here, it's all zeros. And that is how I believe the audience likes to critique and view Lewandowski, is because he is no Luis Suarez. He is no Ronaldo. I remember Xavi Hernandez tried to use Lewandowski as a 1v1 killer by dropping Lewandowski a little bit deeper, carrying the ball forward, but he always loses the ball. He cannot go through one man to save his life. Xavi did that and experimented with this tactic back in 2022, but Lewandowski does not have those capabilities. He's going to be turning 36 years old next week. Like, of course, his athleticism with the ball is non-existent. The only thing that he could do, though, is drop deep, hold the ball, and wait for the wingers to make the runs on the flanks, and then for him to pass it to one of the wingers. It's very much, I would say, kind of like Erling Haaland today, right, in terms of the role and the style. But the thing is, with Erling Haaland, it's okay because he plays in the Premier League. He has all the space in the world behind him for him to exploit and to score goals, so that's fine, right? Erling Haaland plays in the exact same way, but the reason why we ask for Lewandowski to have the ability to do 1v1s and be a ball carrier is because in La Liga, you have to deal with the D blocks. You need to be very good on adapting to the D blocks and taking on a couple of opponents, because that is what's going to allow us to aid the D blocks. Once again, this is what annoys the fan base, and I understand that. But the fact that Lewandowski in the end scored 2 goals, Hansi Flick is definitely not going to drop him. He has more pros than cons at the moment. Yes, we are getting to that point where his cons are going to overtake the pros, but at the moment, Hansi Flick has no other choice, right? If you want to say Lewandowski out, give me a solution, give me an answer on who to replace him with, and be reasonable, right? To be realistic, because if you were to be realistic and reasonable with me, you would know that there is no other options out there in the market right now, and if there is, it's too expensive. So why let go of Lewandowski, especially knowing that he can at least score you goals? So Hansi Flick knows this, and he's only going to add emphasis on Lewandowski's limits and what he could do. He's going to ask for Lewandowski to say, look, you know what? We know that you're not that good at 1v1 duels, so just forget about it. All I need you to do is to be inside the box and wait for the balls to come to you. Don't even bother dribbling at all. It's okay. Like, don't even think about that. Just be a box threat, like how I had you back in 2019. And this kind of ties in with the first point that I made. This is the reason why Hansi Flick is coming in with this type of attacking style, to be dual winners on the ball on the wings and find crosses in the box for Lewandowski to score goals. It's very simple. And in this way, it's going to help complement Lewandowski, and the players like Lamine Yamal, Koundé, Olmo, or Balde are going to have a very fun time because they're very good at it. Moving on towards my last point, and I do want to speak about Pedri very quickly. I think that Pedri is a necessity. Pedri came into this game and changed the game completely. He is such a breath of fresh air. I am so mad just thinking about how he got injured back in the Euros because of Cruz, who's now retired. Like, bro, why did you do that to our golden player? Pedri could have partook in the Euro win all the way up into the final, be with us with the preseason, and then be in his prime level by then, right now. But he's not. But even with him being at 70% or 80%, he is still very effective for Barcelona. He made the whole attack coordinated. Like, before Pedri came in, our attack was okay. We were finding solutions, but Pedri only emphasized on that. Rotated the ball, controlled the play. He looked for passes. He was also taking a couple of shots from outside the box. I'm like, dude, this is the first time I've seen you take a long shot from outside the box since 1964. So he looks very athletic and more than ever. Yes, we saw some of his final passes. They were a little off, but it's okay. Like, when you are coming back from a long-term injury, of course, you were going to be playing in this way, but we still saw the difference. He made our team more fluid. And so he is such an intelligent player. How could you bench him? There is just no way. Within a 4-2-3-1 system, you make sure he is the central attacking midfielder. Within a 4-3-3 system, you make sure he is a central midfielder as an interior. Within a 4-4-2 system, you make sure Pedri is behind the striker. He can fit in all. Let me give you guys an example, right? I don't know if you guys have seen The Batman, the movie that came out in 2022. I don't know if you guys saw the final 30 minutes of that movie. We saw Batman basically inside the water. He's trying to help some people that were drowning, and he's like, hey, look, I know it's dark in here. I know that you can't find a way out, but I'm going to be showing a light to you guys. And all you guys have to do is follow this light. It's a red light. And then he lighted up that candle. He raised it up to the air, and everybody was following him from behind. And all the people that were in the water that were lost, they were just following Batman, and they saw the path. The same thing is going on with Pedri and the Barcelona players. When he is on the pitch, he is that light, a light that these players could follow, and they know what path to take. They no longer feel lost. Everything just seems much more clear with Pedri there. He's a guiding light, and I believe that Hansi Flick does know this. He spoke very highly of Pedri, and he said that this player is amazing. You can't find a player like him anywhere else. And so I'm pretty sure that Hansi Flick has a lot of big plans for him. I know and I understand that a lot of people, not just Barcelona fans, but football fans in general, really do like midfielders that is all about speed and strength. Like Bellingham, like Amadou Onana. I get it, right? It's fun. It's a necessity. Football needs that. But Pedri just keeps proving that playing smarter is what really does matter. And then having and adding the speed and strength on top of that, which I believe Pedri will gain, only adds to your potential. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.